Welcome to the Emily Otto Show, business coaching for rebel healers, priestesses, and other witchy women. This podcast will give you the tools to help you build and scale your online healing business so you can help more people and make more money. My goal is for you to enjoy your life and business with plenty of time for pleasure and play. I am over the moon delighted you're here. Let's start today's episode. Hello, and welcome to episode number 3 of the Emily Otto Show. This is me, Emily Otto, and I am so freaking stoked for today's episode because this is actually a live workshop that I'm giving here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I am so excited because I haven't spoken at a live networking event, goodness, since the start of the pandemonium, as one of my amazing clients calls it. And I'm so excited to get to connect with women, especially moms, live and in person. And myself and the organizer, Alexis, kind of talked through what would be most beneficial to present and to give as a juicy takeaway for this type of woman, for the woman who's a mom in business, in crazy, strange, hard times, right? So if you're a mom, this is especially for you. But if you're a woman building a business, which chances are you are, if you're listening to this podcast, my dear, amazing witch, priestess, or otherwise identifying healer, this is for you. And it's going to help you get more done to move the needle in your business, to move things forward, to gain forward flow and momentum over time in bits of time. So this is all about 5 tips to move your business forward in 5 minutes or less. Okay, so the idea is these are short, tiny snippets that you can do that are actually going to be supportive and help you move your business forward, help you make sales, support your people, have an authentic, soul-driven, purpose-driven, joy-filled business that you love, one that you don't have to take vacations from, one that you don't dread working in on Monday mornings, and one that really fills your soul and your cup first, and then your clients. So 5 tips in 5 minutes or less. The first tip that I have, and feel free to take notes, or you can just listen to this on a repeat. The number 1 first tip that I have is get things out of your brain and onto a parking lot pad of paper or onto your phone. So put to-do lists frickin' everywhere, because if you're an amazing woman, and chances are you are, you're constantly thinking, you're constantly processing, and our brains are constantly trying to solve for X. So first of all, getting your brain focused on the right problem, the right X, is key. And then put to-do lists all over the house, literally pads of paper, sticky notes, have a parking lot that you can park your ideas on. So that might look like a sticky note pad in your freaking bathroom, one in the kitchen. I always keep a to-do list in the kitchen. Maybe it's one on your phone, right? You can use notes, you can use Google Keep on your phone. And so you have a place to put your thoughts, to put your ideas, to put those concepts that float by when it's like, oh yeah, I've got to do that thing, or, oh, I've got to send that email, or, oh, yep, I want to create that offer or that program or follow up with that amazing woman who wants to work with me. Park those thoughts, especially if you have to work with your kids during the day, if you have to play with them, if you want to play with them, if you're cleaning, if, there's a billion and one things that go by. And I want you to have a place to park those thoughts and ideas. So put to-do lists everywhere, write it down, let it be messy. And then at the end of the day, or on your work days, or when you have the next bit of work time, refine those ideas and park them on a project management app like ClickUp or Trello. I love ClickUp because you can assign tasks and put due dates in there if you have a team or if you want a team. And then you can really get shit done and move it forward. The next biggest tip that I have for you today, number 2, voice memos and voice to text. Most of my social media posts that you're going to see on Facebook on my personal profile are voice to text from my Pixel 5 Google phone. So I will audio and speak my stories most of the time. It's very rare that I'm sitting down at a computer typing my post. I voice to text everything. I also work with my one-on-one clients in Voxer, which is a walkie-talkie voice app. And so I'll send text, but mostly it's walkie-talkie voice memos back and forth. And I'll go live, I'll record this audio podcast. Voice memo saves my butt as a mom because my kids can play on the playground or play in the backyard. I can set them out there with bubbles and mud and a dog, and they're ridiculously happy. And I can voice memo my clients. I can use my voice to record a reel on Instagram or type up a post. And voice to text is my number one favorite freaking thing. I have heard that it's not as easy on iPhones. Voice to text is a really easy feature on Google phones, but you can use apps. One of them is called Dragon Naturally Speaking. That's a really great app to do voice to text either from your computer or from your phone. But honestly, big mom and business hack, doing a lot of work from your phone, right? Because you're on the go, or your kids are on the go, or they're playing for a minute, or they're distracted with a show on PBS. And you can slam out a post and let it be messy. Let it be enough. So that's the overarching concept here, is your messy authenticity and your action is more important than perfectionism and getting it right. Yep. Your people need your work, and doing it messy and getting it done is better than waiting until you have oodles of time, waiting until it's perfect, waiting for divine intervention to strike. Get it done, take the action, do it messy, trust that it's good enough, and keep going. So that being said, a lot of my amazing healers in business have a hard time figuring out, what the F do I say about my work in the world? What do I say about my programs and my services? How do I do this thing, Emily? And so the number one easiest thing to do is your tip number 3, which is BTS posts, or behind the scenes posts. So you're playing, you're cleaning, you're cutting some lilacs to set on your desk or on your kitchen table. Take a quick photo, use that as content. Here's the behind the scenes of my workday. Here's the behind the scenes of my day with the kids. Here's the behind the scenes of my morning. You can absolutely still sell in that post and connect it to what you do, your work in the world. And here's a link to book a session with me. Hop in my DMs if you want to book your session, whatever it is, buy my products. Here's a link. Behind the scenes posts are really underrated and really help move the needle and get you consistently posting. So don't discount it. Go ahead and use it and let it be enough. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to chunk those tasks. So you have to-do lists all over the place. You got sticky notes for days, everything's everywhere. Great. Now refine it and chunk it down into tasks that you can do in 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and 30 minutes. Okay. Because most tasks won't take longer than that. And if it does, you can break it down further, right? So maybe writing an email is a 5-minute task. Coming up with your next newsletter is a 30-minute task. Following up with people who said they wanted more information is a 15-minute task. Maybe sending some work to your virtual assistant is a 15-minute task. So we want to categorize these. And then when you have a spare 15 minutes, you can sit down and look at your list of 15-minute tasks and say, okay, I'm going to knock off 1 and 2, and that's 30 minutes. And that's it. That's it for right now. That's it for this block of time during the day. And let that be enough. Let it be good enough. You're going to hear that as a reoccurring theme from me. Let it be enough. It's more than enough. What you're doing is enough. But it's that consistent action applied over time that's going to lead you to the audience, the clients, and the cash that you want. Tip number 5, follow up as a business process. Following up. So I know it's really easy to say, oh, well, that person doesn't want to work with me. They never came back or said anything else. These times are hard. There is a global pandemic. You are probably living in North America. during late stage capitalism and the patriarchy, there's a lot of pressure on women and on moms in these times. Someone not coming back to you is not a personal attack. And it's probably not even personal. It's that how many times have we forgotten, or we had every intention of supporting ourselves and then something came up? There's so much happening. So you need to make follow-up a standard business procedure. Follow up with your people 3 to 5 to 7 to 11 times. 80% of sales are closed in the follow-up. Isn't that nutty? 80% of sales are closed in the follow-up. That's across markets, that's across the board, products, services, doesn't matter what it is. Following up is a normal way to make a sale. And you don't have to do it from a gross, sticky place. You totally get to do it from a place of abundance and overflow and consent and offering. A simple, hey, did you get the link? Hey, are you still interested? Is this a now or a later thing? Is a really gentle, easy way to follow up, whether that's an email, a DM, if you're texting with your people, a quick text. But make it a standard business procedure that you follow up 3, 5, 7 times. Right now in the online marketing world, 11 times is something that's being floated around because people's nervous systems and brains are just overwhelmed. There's too much going on. It's not that they don't want to work with you, boo. It's that stuff happens. And the very reason they need to work with you, usually for my healers, the very reason they need to work with you is the reason they're having a hard time committing to working with you. It's everything in these businesses is a chicken and the egg problem. What came first, investing in your business or having a successful business? It's a little bit of both, right? So make follow-up a normal part of your business process. So to recap, 5 tips for mompreneurs that you can get done in 5 minutes or less. To-do lists all over the place. Voice to text your shit. Behind the scenes posts. Break your tasks down into 5, 15, and 30-minute task blocks. And then follow up with your people. Follow up. Maybe that's just 1 or 2 people a day, 3 people a day, 5 people a day. Follow up as a normal business process. Let me know how these go for you. I am so excited to have this podcast, to reach you, to help you, to support you in creating a beautiful healing business that you love online and in physical reality during these crazy times. I'm so glad we're here together. And I am running a podcast contest from now through June 7th. So if you're listening to this, it is May, and we are running a podcast through June 7th, 2022. Like, comment, share, review this podcast on Apple or Spotify and be entered to win over $1,600 in prizes. Scope it out on my website. It's emily-otto.com/podcast. Thank you so much for being here and for listening. That's it for today. Share this episode with other Rebel healers so they too can make more money and deeply support their people. Join my free Facebook group at Business Coaching for Rebel Healers with Emily Otto, and stay tuned for next week's episode. XOXO.